This is the time when we pull human ingenuity with machine learning.
Welcome to the first ever SOFTCON.PH, the Philippine Software Industry Conference. Up next is the second keynote speaker for this morning. She'll be talking about being inside a Megatrend-Enabled business, specifically Rappler.com. So we all know who we're talking about. I'm talking about, of course, none other than Miss Maria Ressa. Yes. Maria is the CEO and executive editor of Rappler, a social news network which uses hearts and minds approach to news through a unique mood navigator. Rappler combines the best of professional journalism with citizen journalism and crowdsourcing. Ms. Ressa has been a journalist in Asia for more than 25 years, most of them as CNN's bureau chief in Manila and Jakarta. She was CNN's lead investigative reporter focusing on terrorism in Southeast Asia. In 2005, she took the helm of ABS-CBN News and Current Affairs for 6 years, determining strategic direction and managing more than 1,000 journalists for the largest multi-platform news operation in the Philippines. Her work aimed to redefine journalism by combining traditional broadcast, new media, and mobile phone technology for social change. She taught for her alma mater, Princeton University, and for the University of the Philippines. She worked on her second book, From Bin Laden to Facebook, as author-in-residence and senior fellow at the International Center for Political Violence and Terrorism Research in Singapore. Very impressive resume. Ms. Maria Ressa, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. I came to IT from terrorism. It's a strange new world, isn't it? I will take you through. I know what you do in a completely different way, and I think it's an amazing time. Rappler couldn't have existed 5 years ago, and the growth of Rappler is precisely because of what you do. So part of the reason I'm very upfront, because this is part of being a journalist, the reason I wanted to speak to you is I'm looking for people who are very good at what you do. Please, if you're interested in some of this stuff, contact me. Let me go through. There are 4 megatrends that we looked at and pulled together. And I have to tell you, in the last 2 weeks, I've gone from New York to Singapore in different conferences. And what's fascinating is we are all at the same place trying to figure out how to use all of this. What you do, what I do, what humanitarians do. There's a group called Digital Humanitarians out of Doha. It is a whole new world, and we're just starting to figure it out now. It's a time of great opportunity, and the people who can experiment with it and grab it and create something new. The phrase we've all used before is creative destruction. Joseph Schumpeter talked about it. This is it. We're living through it. And your kids, the generation after us, will create something that we cannot even begin to fathom. I'll take you through what we've done and the ideas that are there, and hopefully they'll help spark more ideas for you. The number of tweets grows 200% a year. And by 2012, these were the last figures that I had gotten, it exceeded 400 million tweets a day. With that much information, how do you wrap your head around it? You really can't. You need the machine. This is the age of cyborg. No. This is the time when we pull human ingenuity with machine learning, right? So what do we do with that? We use it as big data. And we're not the first to use it. We won't be the last. If you're not doing it, get to it. This is big data. It is the age of big data. These are three ideas that came from many different books. Change of scale equals the change of state. That quantitative change, the number, 26 frames a second or more, leads to a qualitative change. It's no longer information, it's big data. And it is not the technical definition of big data, which started in computer programming. It is the implication of what big data means and what it can do. It means massive transformation. For every one of the organizations, not just news is one of those industries that's being affected, but every single industry is going to be affected because society is changing as a whole because of this. What is Rappler? As a journalist, it went against my grain, and those are the 40-somethings. There are only 4 or 5 of us above 40 in Rappler. So that gives you an idea of what the world looks like today. You still need us experienced, older folks to set perspective and agenda. But do not, those 20-somethings will give you the workflow. Because, guys, they really do think differently. What I do with our team is I go, this is what I want to do. How would you do it? And they'll come up with new things, new tools, because you know how quickly the tools change, that I didn't know, and they'll make it better. So this is a really time of transformation, even in that. So that's your mood navigator. What happens when you take all the moods and in a month put them together as big data? You know, of course, our year ender is going to be all the moods of the year, right? So in the month of May, look at what we were like in the month of May. May 13th is election day, right? We were very happy in the run-up and during the May 13th midterm elections. But on May 13th, in fact, the evening of May 13th, we became angry and annoyed because the results were slower than what we were used to. And then we became happy again, moving up, very happy. Look, no angry votes. The day that the winners were proclaimed. And then what's interesting to me is here, this very big angry near the end of the month, has nothing to do with politics. Do you guys remember what happened at the end of May that really pissed you off? It's a comedian, Vice Ganda, talking about Jessica Soho. And we were very angry and annoyed. Next slide. Big data. There's no bigger data. The Rappler signed a memorandum of understanding with the Commission on Elections, Joe Ben's group. Well, our group actually handled the big data. It is no bigger data than nearly 53 million Filipinos voting for nearly 18,000 positions. You know, and that's incredible because the best part is in previous elections, you couldn't do this. And if you were announcing the results minute per minute, people would accuse you of trending. How can you trend when you can mouse over them and show exactly where the votes came from? That's no longer called trending, that's called big data. That is called information that empowers. That's fun stuff. So the question is now, free will versus dictatorship of data. If the data says you're going to commit a crime, but you haven't done it yet, but people will know. Do you see that inception part of data? Can the individual trump what big data says about him? All of this stuff is empowered by what you do. And it is an amazing time period. I leave you with just this. Last slide is what can, click please, last slide. Click. What can you do with these ideas? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria Ressa. If you can stay on stage for a few minutes. I think she deserves a standing O.
are you planning on taking this regionally? It's a great concept.
You know, we're planning on taking it globally. It's already global, except that right now it's a Filipino niche, right? But Filipinos are all over the world, so that's the next spread. But beyond that, you will see our editorial content evolve. In the end, local content and global content is a difference in editorial perspectives. It's very different when I used to write for CNN versus now when I write for Rappler. So bridging that, what I hope to do is we bring our audience up so that we can not just be concerned about what's happening in the Philippines. You guys, you know, what are the two top raters in primetime news in the Philippines? I know this because I watched it for 6 years. Minute per minute ratings. Entertainment and crime. The thing is, it's the same thing in the States. It's so, for me, I think that's human nature. How do you pull people up from entertainment and crime, from local to global? You make global news relevant to them. So while I was with CNN, we were telling an American audience about global news, but it was told from an American perspective. I want to tell global news from a Filipino perspective. That's our goal.
Maria, how are we capturing the sentiments of the Filipinos that are not on Twitter?
Hi, Tina. Tina Ampere just did Geeks on a Beach in Boracay. How are we capturing the sentiments of Filipinos who are not on Twitter? A tool called Radiant 6 scrapes all of everything online, right? That includes Facebook. There are more Filipinos on Facebook. You're talking about roughly 30 million Filipinos. That's only a third. But one of the things I like about hearing Secretary Montejo before me is that he promised me personally and on camera that the Philippines will have 99% internet penetration by 2015. Are you guys listening to that?
Broadband na yan.
99% because he's using TV white space. And I actually dug a little and I took a look at what Microsoft is doing with the government. It's a Microsoft working with the government to utilize TV white space to get this internet penetration in areas where cell phone penetration doesn't exist yet. So that's one way.